Enjoy your wedding. Back in the 90s, my buddy Mike met this girl named Jessica, and she was something else. The second they started dating, Mike basically disappeared. At first, we thought it was just the honeymoon phase, but we soon realized Jessica had decided that any time Mike spent with us was time stolen from her. We would try to hang out on weekends, and Mike would have to decline because Jessica said he couldn't come. We'd invite him for beers after work, and he'd say Jessica thought he should come straight home. This went on for months. She didn't even have a reason. She just thought that since Mike had her, he didn't need friends anymore. It was painful watching Mike turn into a different person. He used to be a fun, outgoing guy who loved playing pool, but he became a nervous wreck who had to call her every hour to check in. After 1 year, they decided to get married. Mike asked me to plan his bachelor party. I'm not usually a fan of the concept, and I figured we'd just hit a sports bar for a few drinks. But the day before the party, Jessica pulled me aside with a deadly serious look on her face. She told me there was to be absolutely no alcohol and definitely no strip clubs, claiming Mike didn't need temptation before the wedding. That's when something snapped. She had been controlling every second of his life for over 12 months, and now she was trying to dictate his last night of freedom. I looked her right in the eye and promised her there would be no problem at all. The next night, I picked Mike up and we made our first stop at a liquor store, where I bought enough whiskey to drown a horse. Mike was hesitant, but I reminded him it was his night. Our second stop was the trashiest club in town. Mike was terrified of Jessica finding out, but I told him she wasn't there. We stayed for hours, and I bought him lap dances from 3 different girls. I even bought him a ridiculous souvenir t-shirt from the club with a suggestive picture on it. By the end of the night, Mike was so drunk he could barely walk. I drove him back to his apartment and had a beautiful, petty idea. I put that club t-shirt on him, making sure the logo was clearly visible, and leaned his passed-out body against his front door. I rang the doorbell and ran. At the wedding the next day, Mike looked like he was at death's door. His eyes were bloodshot, and he could barely stand during the ceremony. Jessica knew exactly what had happened. She glared at me the entire time like she wanted to murder me. Afterward, she cornered me in the parking lot and went ballistic, screaming that I had ruined her perfect day. I just smiled and said, "Hope you enjoyed your wedding, Jessica." We didn't speak for 2 years, but then, out of the blue, Mike called me up. He asked if I wanted to grab a beer because he was finally divorced. It turned out that Jessica's controlling behavior only got worse once they were legally married, and he finally had enough.